Hey guys, welcome to your Unit 10 Lesson 1 notes on inequalities. By the end of the day, you'll be able to graph inequalities on a number line. Just a quick review, a number line is a line with numbers on it. I'm just kidding. Remember that the small numbers are always over here to the left, so they get left behind. And then the bigger numbers are always over here to the right because I don't know why, but that's how it goes. Anyway, so even though the numbers look bigger, especially when you get negative, they're actually going smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so you've heard of equalities. When things are equal, get ready for not that, also known as an inequality in meaning not, equality meaning equal. So an inequality is when you have two things that are not equal. End of lesson. Okay, anyway. There are two ways to categorize an inequality. The first one is by the direction it's going. So if you have an inequality that states something is less than, then you'll have this symbol right here. Think of it as like going that way down the number line. You're going towards the small numbers that's less than. Okay. For example, you would say like 5 is less than 15. Ta-da! Back in the day in like elementary school, you might have had like a little shark mouth going because your shark wants to eat. Look at that amazing shark. Your shark wants to eat the bigger number. Same concept still applies. Okay, so we call this guy less than. Fun grammar fact, if you're counting how many things you are, like shoes, and if, I don't have as many shoes as someone else, I would say I have fewer shoes than him, or I have fewer than 10 shoes. You wouldn't say I have less than 10 shoes. That's grammatically incorrect, but there you go. The opposite of less than is greater than, and in an opposite manner, it goes the opposite way. For example, we want to redeem our little 5 guy over here. 5 is greater than 3, and 5 is greater than negative 15. So, yay, 5. These guys, because they are just plain old inequalities, we have a fancy term for them. We call them strict. They are strictly less than. They are strictly greater than. This is in contrast when you have an or equal to guy. When you have an or equal to, remember equal means equal. So then we go and combine them. If you have less than or equal to, just put a less than on top of that. Ta-da! You have a less than or equal to symbol. And that's so fun. That's so fun. For example, we can say like, oh, C is less than or equal to 5. Right? You can also say 3 is less than or equal to 5. That's true, because 3 is less than 5. So that works. In word problems, you'll see at most, no more than, a maximum, less than or equal to 5. For example, if I have less than or equal to 5 shoes, that means I have at most 5 shoes. I do not have more than 5 shoes. I have a maximum of 5 shoes. Hopefully that's actually 4, or else 1 shoe's in the Lonely Hearts Club. Next, we have greater than or equal to, which is the same kind of deal. That equal to means you've got an equals. But also, you have a greater than. Wow, that's pretty terrible. Also, you have a greater than, which gives you greater than or equal to. That deal right there. Other phrases include at least, no less than, a minimum of. Look, they're like total opposites. Instead of at most, at least. Instead of no more than, no less than. Instead of a maximum of, a minimum of. For example, now let's say I have, apples. Say the number of apples I have is greater than or equal to 11. Let's go with 41. Yeah, 41. That means I have at least 41 apples. If I have greater than or equal to 41 apples, I have no less, no fewer than 41 apples. I have a minimum for that's a lot of apples. Hopefully I'll make a pie or something. Okay, so let's put this into words. Y'all know that the age of people who are not of legal driving age of California is under 16. So someone who's not of legal driving age, someone who is 5, someone who is 15, I mean, with a permit, yeah, but, you know, okay? These are all values where your age is less than 16. It does not include 16 because you can be 16 and drive. Next, we've got our friend Josh. Josh can carry at most 50 newspapers. Okay, so that means he can carry 50. He can carry 40 papers. He can carry 1 paper. He can carry 0 papers. But he cannot carry 51. Okay, so that tells us that the number of papers he can carry is less than or equal to 50. Finally, if you need to be at least 25 years old to rent a car, then you can be 25 and rent a car. You can be 50 and rent a car, but you can't be 24 and rent a car. But actually you can, there's just an extra fee. But you can't be 24. So your age can be equal to 25, or it can be greater than. So it's greater than or equal to 25. Cool. Now that we've written inequalities, we're going to graph them, and then we'll ungraph them, and then that's it. Okay, so the way to start an inequality is, the way to graph an inequality is you're going to mark all the numbers to which this applies. So we're going to mark all the numbers that are greater than 5. Okay, 6 is greater than 5, 10 is greater than 5, 7.5 is greater than 5. We've got 11, 11.5, 11 1/4. Guys, this is taking a really long time. There must be a better way. Well, we can just literally just make a line and be like, all these guys, these are all numbers that are greater than 5. Awesome. In fact, those numbers, they go on forever and ever. So that's cool. But as we get closer to 5, something funky happens. Yeah, 5.5 and 5 1/4 and 5 1/8. We're going to get, infinitely close. We get infinitely close to 5, but not actually touch it. So we draw a circle. We draw an open circle around 5 because this does not include 5. And then we go on from there. So that's it. Now let's look at numbers that are greater than or equal to 1.5. Well, 1.5 is equal to 1.5. And 2.5 is greater than 1/2. 2 is greater than 1/2. We're going to take that arrow and make him go all the way this again. Yay. But this time we have a solid circle at 1.5. Let's do one more. This time we have 5 is less than negative n. Ooh. You know what? I changed my mind. Let's not do the negative. Make this a positive. 5 is less than n. Okay, well, is 5, let's plug some numbers in. Is 5 less than 0? No, that's not true. Is 5 less than 5? That's not true. Is 5 less than 6? Yes. Is 5 less than 7? Yes. Well, 5 is less than 5.5, but 5 is not less than 5. So we're going to put an open circle around there and then carry on with our lives like that. Okay, so what's the pattern? I've been doing this backwards actually to show you why this works. But once you get the pattern, let's do this this way. The first step to graphing an inequality is you want to start with your circle. You want to draw a circle around your number. And you'll put a solid circle on it if you're using numbers that are equal or less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, like that. You want to use an open circle for when there's not equal to or strictly less than or strictly greater than. So the first step, draw your circle. The second step is to draw your arrow. Figure out what direction are you doing. And we've been doing this by trying numbers. We substitute them into your inequality and just shade what makes it true. Shade what works. By the way, I've been using a pencil this whole time. If you want to use a highlighter, that's great. I'll show you what that looks like. So 3 is our number in focus. You'll notice we have an equal to. So that's going to give us a circle that is solid. Solid at 3. And now we want to try numbers that work. So if we have 3 is less than or equal to p. Well, is 3 less than or equal to 0? No. Is 3 less than or equal to 5? Yes. So we want to go towards 5. Beautiful. Great, right? I should make this a little thicker. Did you know you can do that? You can just be like, yoink, yoink, yoink. Isn't that so cool? Okay, this time we have W is greater than or equal to 2.5. So 2.5, since we've got that equal to, that's going to be a solid circle at 2.5. Now is 0 greater than or equal to 2.5? No. Is 3 greater than or equal to 2.5? Yes. So we're going to go towards 2.5. Oh, come on. Come on, arrow. Ha ha. Cool. You can make your arrow just go to here. You can make it go past your graph if you want. That's fine. And finally, we have 6 is less than or equal to n. But guys, look at all of our arrows have gone the whole way. So I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to change this problem. I'm going to say no. N is less than or equal to 6. I'm going to change it. And that's what we're going to graph right now. Don't do that to your homework, but do that to your notes. Okay, cool. So our key number here is 6. And since we've got an equal to, that gives us a solid circle. Now we need to plug in numbers and try it. Is 0 less than 6? Yes, that works. So we're going to go that way. You will only go one way in this lesson. So if you check that this works and this works, then you did something wrong because you're only going to go one way. So you have it. We graph the circle first, and then we graph our arrow from there. Now we're going to do the opposite direction. We're going to look at the circle, and then we're going to figure out where does it need to go. Okay. Well, first, the circle is going to tell you what number is important. So I think it's easier to always put the number afterwards, like this. If you want to put it in front, you can, but you should put them like this. Okay, 4. Now we need to figure out how do these numbers relate to 4. Well, 3 is less than 4. 0 is less than 4. So we're going to say P is less than 4. Alternatively, you could do 4 is greater than P. Those both work. Here, what is our key number? Our key number here is 6. So we'll start out with 6. And how do these numbers relate to 6? Well, let's go back to this one because I did something wrong. We've got a solid circle. Solid circle tells us this needs to be greater than or equal to. Less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. Okay, look. Hey, look, we've got a solid circle. So that's going to be equal to, and 7 is greater than 6. So we're going to say that's greater than or equal to 6. Alternatively, 6 is less than or equal to W. Okay, let's focus on our circle. Our circle is solid, and it's at -1. Now 1 is greater than -1. 0 is greater than -1. So we're going to go greater than like that. Okay. You can also say -1 less than or equal is less than or equal to y. So what's the pattern? Where are we figuring out? Well, we're always starting at the circle. And then from there, we draw our arrow. And we try numbers, and we just see what the phrase works. Look, it's literally the same thing. That's so nice. Okay, here our first step is to start at our number. Our number is 3. And we've got an open circle. That open circle says it's not equal to. So now we need to figure out what direction we're going. Well, 2 is less than 3. 0 is less than 3. So we say n is less than 3. Alternatively, 3 is greater than n. Let's look at this guy. Our circle tells us P is at -3. and 0 is greater than -3. We need to keep it open because the circle's open. And finally, our number here is 1/2. And this gives us a greater than 1/2. So m is greater than 1/2, or 1/2 is less than m. That's it. So in summary, we have 4 signs that we care about. In fact, I'm going to do a little like kind of deal between them. Oh man, I can't do that. I'm going to do like a little mink between them to help divide the ideas. Okay. So if you have a less than symbol, that's called less than. So if you wanted to graph x is less than 3, you start at 3 and you go this way. If you want to graph, watch this, this is going to be great. I feel so smart. Okay, if you go the opposite way, you do the opposite thing. You have greater than. Yes. So if you have x is greater than 3, you start at 3, and you highlight all the numbers greater than 3. Yes, that's great and all. But what if you have this extra guy right here? Whoop! That means less than or equal to. So all you do is you fill in this circle. What if you have this extra guy right here? Well, that means greater than or equal to. So you just fill in this guy right here. That's it. That's your cheat sheet. Have a wonderful time on your homework.